shooting the sunset now, waiting. It's at 6:40, so we'll have to wait an hour and 20 minutes. Hey guys, what's up? Hope everyone is doing well. As mentioned in the title, I want to talk a little bit more about my experience shooting with the EOS R5. I'm very fortunate to be able to shoot this before it even releases, and I am very thankful for my friends at Canon Korea. I don't want to talk about specs. I'm pretty sure you guys can find many videos coming out soon, but I want to talk a little bit more about my own experience just shooting and where I shot and how I shot these photos. I don't have much time with the camera. I only had a total of 6 days shooting with this camera, and Canon Korea approached me and said, hey, we have the EOS R5 coming out and we have a sample body. Would you like to take some landscape photos and shoot around Korea with it? And without second thought, I just jumped into it, and I shot some footage with both these cameras, vlogging myself, but I actually didn't take a mic, so the audio was terrible, so I'm not too sure if I'm gonna show it. 5 hours? Anyway, I focused more on taking photos with this camera because that was part of the contract, so I didn't really dabble into the video side, and as well, I'm not too good at video yet. But the photos, amazing quality. It says it's a 45 megapixel. I can zoom in so much and still keep quality compared to my EOS R right now. And just in case you were wondering, it is a fully functioning camera. Show you. So quiet. I love it. So my trip in Kuropdo consisted of 3 days, actually 4 days, 3 nights, and I went there. I actually had this trip planned before Canon reached out to me, and then I told them, and they were like, oh perfect, you can still go on that trip, take some photos there, because not a lot of people go to that island. It's kind of out of the way, so Canon was like, hey, might as well go, take some pictures there. Hopefully you'll see some stars, and hopefully you'll be able to capture some images. So after coming back on that 4-day trip, I got back here on a Saturday right before the sunset, and I looked at the sky, and in Korea it's actually pretty hard to find days that the sky is blue because all the fine dust in the air. So I quickly showered, and then I called a taxi and actually went up to a nearby mountain right on the north side of Seoul, and from there I carefully took the camera because there were a lot of people there waiting to see the sunset, and set up my tripod on the side and took a couple photos, waited for the sun to set, for the city lights to turn on throughout Seoul, and took a couple more photos, and thankfully it was dark enough so that people wouldn't see I was shooting in this. And obviously I had a little tape covering the model throughout my whole time, and then I just ran back down, took a cab home again. So basically at this point I got home, showered, woke up early the next day, and then went to my next location like at 2 a.m. But when I got there it was like super foggy, but I don't know why it's taking me like
3 minutes to explain all this.
We decided to just stay in the East Coast for a little bit longer, and it started clearing up around 1 p.m., 12 noon, and took a cable car up the mountain, took some photos there, and then decided to head back. Traffic's terrible. Took us 2 hours to get there. It's taking us 4 hours to get back to Seoul. And right before we're about to go home, the sun's setting. We're passing by the Han River, and we quickly pull over, take super quick photos, and then from there just head home, rest for the next day. So the next day comes along. I took a flight to Jeju Island. If I could pick anywhere to live in Korea, I would live in Jeju. Yeah, I think it's the perfect combination of city and landscape here in Korea for what it has to offer. So I decided to head there for 2 days, and I wanted to concentrate more on taking photos of the waterfalls there. So as soon as I arrived in the morning, I headed to the waterfalls, and I believe I went to about 4 or 5 different waterfalls. Unfortunately, they're not these huge Niagara Falls looking waterfalls, but they're still beautiful. The waters, they're super clean, super clear. From there, I think that was the end of my shooting ideas that came to mind. I had been running around for 7 days from west to east to south of South Korea, and it had been very tiring. So just ended up going to a cafe. I'm kind of making this video without much idea of what I wanted to talk. I've just compiled a bunch of different clips, photos of this camera. I also concentrated on taking the actual photos and doing the work, then just trying to do 2 jobs at once, creating videos with this, making this video, and shooting. And I think it got a little bit out of hand at some points, but when that happened, I would just say, no, taking photos is more important right now. So that's what I stuck with. So closing remarks. It's been an awesome experience just shooting for a camera brand that actually started my whole career about 11 years ago now. I bought my first Canon camera. It was my very first camera. I never had one before, and I stuck with Canon ever since. And to be able to work with such an amazing brand that I've been a fan of for the past 11 years, it's actually a dream come true. And I'm very thankful to have this relationship with Canon Korea, and it's been an amazing week, a hectic, amazing week. It's been, I think, life-changing. I have to go return the camera now. See ya.